Well, it's 5:30 in the afternoon on this beautiful Friday, and we got to get to work. Just getting wrapped up for the day on the online store that is greenhulk.net, managing the form, getting some supercharger rebuilds out, and it's 5:30 now, finally clocking out, and I am getting started on this little personal project of mine. Now, this right here is a 1999, I think it's a 99. Let's see, yeah. 1999 Sea-Doo XP Limited 951. Now this ski was born the same year as me, so we are both 25 years old, about to be 26. And this is actually my favorite ski that I've ever had. So I got this ski about a year ago, and I'm finally getting around to doing some upgrades on it. I did a few little things on it already. Put some 32-inch wide Riva bars, the Riva billet throttle. It does have an ADA billet head. I rejetted the carbs, did the Pro-K filters. It does have a Solus impeller, but other than that, it's all stock. And when I got it, it had this nice jet trim seat cover on it. Honestly, I wish I got to work on this thing more. I'm constantly working on customer stuff. My day-to-day life, I do the store stuff all day long, supercharger rebuilds for the store, jet pump rebuilds for the store, complete jet pumps that I assemble from new and ship out to customers. So I do that all day long, and then I come home at night and work on customer stuff on the weekends, and I never really get a chance to work on my own. And it's sad because last time I rode this was in November of last year, and before that was 4th of July weekend. I rarely get to do my own stuff, and I'm finally setting aside some time this weekend to get some stuff done on this. Now hopefully I can get this exactly the way I want it. That way it's ready to go. When I got some free time set aside, I can go ride it, go run some buoys, and I do plan to race this one. Now, actually, I've got 2 more of these coming. So this is one that I currently have. I acquired a completely built limited class race boat and a bone stock one. We'll get to that in another video, but for now, we're going to get to work on this. To me, this is a perfect watercraft. It's very well balanced. Sea-Doo designed this thing right. At the time, this was a full-size runabout, and it's very small. It's dimensionally the same size as a Sea-Doo Spark, actually just a little bit smaller. The hood lifts up like this, and the engine is in the front. We have some work to do in here, and the fuel tank is located directly underneath where you ride. This thing surprised the hell out of me the first time I rode it. I thought it was just gonna be a little fun toy, and it ended up being my favorite ski. The way that Sea-Doo designed this hull, it is such an incredible machine. Now the engine is in the front, so it does have a lot of weight on the nose, so you don't get a very fast top speed. This one's running high 60s, maybe 70 on GPS in perfect conditions, which is not fast, but it accelerates so well. It's extremely fun to ride. If you trim it up, stab the throttle, it jumps clean out of the water. Way more power than a Sea-Doo Spark that is roughly the same size. But the best thing about it, the engine being in the front and the gas tank right here, and whatever they got going on with the bottom hull of this, it handles so well. It just rips around the buoy course. If you go out in rough water, it tracks beautifully straight, stays hooked up. Yes, of this time period, I could go get a GP 1300R and run way faster on a top speed run and flat water. But as soon as you get in the rough stuff, this is going to pull way ahead. It just stays hooked up, keeps on trucking along, and it just surprised the hell out of me. And because of that, this is by far my favorite ski. I've got big runabouts, kind of like that one over there, that are wicked fast. And if I go out and ride, which is very rare, I'm taking one of these, but hopefully that's going to change and we're going to go ride more often and take you guys with us on this boat. So I plan for this one to kind of be like a beater ski, but not a beater, you know. If I want to go ride it with my buddies, you know, hop around from marinas, I don't have to worry about it beating up against a boat dock. I want it to be reliable so it could do that, but I still want it to be fast and handle well so it could be a backup for my race boat that I do plan to race in the naturally aspirated runabout class this year. So I'll be competing on one of these against full-sized naturally aspirated runabouts, and hopefully we kick their butt. I really think this can do it. So we're just going to polish up this gel coat. Not perfect. I've got new graphics for this, so all of these graphics have to come off. I got new steering. We definitely need to find some sponsons and I'm going to do a little work in the pump. I think I got a trashed wear ring, so we're gonna pull that out and see. But today, the main thing we're gonna focus on is getting a new steering system installed, and maybe even getting some of these graphics off and start polishing the gel coat. Now there are little chips here and there. I don't know if I'm gonna fix those yet, because like I said, I don't really wanna have to worry about it, but I know how I am. Probably gonna end up making it perfect, and then I will end up worrying about it beating up against the boat dock. So I don't know, we'll see. Now the biggest thing with these skis, like my only complaint, is the steering system. Now for whatever reason, Sea-Doo got this entire ski right, but they didn't do a damn thing right on the steering system. They turn up and down like this, you know, so when you're riding it, you're kind of fighting it like this. It just doesn't feel natural. We found a UMI steering system, which is like unobtainium at this point. And what it does, the bars are gonna be further forward and the angle of the neck is different. So it's gonna be a more natural position forward and back when you're trying to steer than this up and down stuff. If you come to this HX project over here, which I don't know, you guys want to see this? You let me know. But see how the factory bars are, like they were narrow, you turn up and down instead of side to side. It's just a strange feeling. So we're getting rid of that stuff today. Now over here, I found this UMI steering system, which is all nice billet aluminum. It uses ball bearings, which I wish modern day watercraft use this type of setup because it's so smooth. There's no play in it. It is just buttery smooth, and it's going to be better ergonomically riding this sucker. Now the downside is to finding this old used steering system is there's no instruction. I've got no idea how to install this. Yes, you can consider me an expert for the modern runabouts, but I don't have a damn clue as to what's going on with these old two-strokes. Now I know this plastic piece has to come off, I think, to get all of this out and then unbolt it from the bottom. I really have no idea, so no instructions. I read a little bit on forums about how to put it on. I don't know what I'm doing. Taking you guys for the ride of me learning something new. These two strokes are before my time, but they're a ton of fun. Let's start ripping this thing apart and see what we can figure out. That was not bad, getting this top piece off. Good time to actually clean this up a bit, you know, the grime. But we could see how this steering system operated from the factory. So it's like this big plastic hunk of junk, not smooth, typical Sea-Doo plastic shit that we still got today. And when I was riding it, this would clunk a lot. See, it's wobbly. It clunk when I'd really push it. I'm assuming it's just kind of like the plastic moving here. The UMI replaces everything. It's not just like a drop-in column, kind of what we deal with in today's stuff. It's like a complete billet steering system. Let's get this off, get this linkage off, disconnect this here. We kind of know where the base plate's going to be, but how the rest of the system works, I think I might have to drill some holes here, drill some holes there. We'll see, I don't know, I've got no idea. I've never done anything like this before, so we're learning together on this.
Later.
I got a little ahead of myself here. So I finished the steering system, which by the way, that took me about 14 hours. Should have probably taken me like 2. After I got that installed, I wanted the steering to be perfectly centered and the nozzle have equal throw when turning left and turning right. And getting all of the linkages adjusted just absolutely perfectly to do that took me a long time. You don't need to take that long. It doesn't really matter. It's just I've got one of these little perfection problems. I couldn't install it and it not be perfect. So we got that squared away, and then I wet sanded the gel coat and then polished it out. And this looks great. I mean, it's almost factory condition looking here. There are some chips and some dock rash here and there. And honestly, I'm not that worried about it. Thought about fixing it, but I'm gonna leave that like it is because it's just bound to get more. I'm gonna ride this a lot. Doesn't have reverse, it's bound to get a little bit of dock rash. So we're gonna leave that like it is. Now we just need to finish up some maintenance. I pulled the wear ring out. This has an old fiberglass reinforced wear ring on the outside, which I've never seen anything like this before, but this apparently was the OEM part for the old brass pumps here. And getting it out was way more difficult than the new ones. So the new ones, I just pop it in the freezer and the wear ring slides right out, where these physically have to cut them out from the fiberglass. So that wasn't the end of the world, but I got a new one of these coming. You can see the inside of the wear ring. It's got this lip here and it's very worn out. What you're doing with this is you're going to have a very large impeller to wear ring clearance. You're going to lose a lot of thrust. You're going to hit the rev limiter, lose speed, and it's going to cavitate extremely bad. So we're going to get a fresh wear ring in this pump. We won't have that in time for this video, but I wanted to show you the importance of checking your wear ring clearance. If you're having a poor running craft, it's likely just something as simple as this. Got a few other things that we're going to do to it. So I did rip the old mats off. We got some new ones to install here, so you can still get brand new mats for these old skis. We sell these. I'll put a link in the description below. You can get whatever colors you want. They've got different pattern options and they're cheap. This was 300 bucks for this whole kit. So we're gonna get these installed real quick. Get the old mats off. On these old skis, you do have rivets holding in the factory mats. So we're gonna fill these in with silicone, and then we're gonna clean the deck surface with alcohol. So this has a really good clean surface to stick to. From there, when you have the surface cleaned off, all you gotta do is peel and stick the new mats where they go. So that's going to be a really quick and easy install. So let's go ahead and get this on and check out the finished product. And just like that, the new mats are installed. Probably took me 5 minutes to clean the deck surface with alcohol and stick these new mats down. Super easy to do, and it's not just for looks. It's a textured material, so it helps with grip too. So you got a little personalization with your watercraft, better grip, and it just looks phenomenal at the end of the day. And I really like the color scheme that I got going on with this. We got the fractal pattern mats, which is all kind of crazy looking, and teal blue on the yellow ski. So to me, this is like staying true to the 90s era that this ski came from, with the crazy colors, and it's just going to be really loud and bright. By the color of these mats, I do have a decal kit coming for this that should look pretty darn cool. That's going to give you a little hint as to what the color is going to be. This is just going to be a really bright ski that pops out at you. I do have some other things to do to this in a future video. I've got some exhaust modifications to do. Of course, that was supposed to be here Monday. I was going to put it in this video, but USPS delayed it. The story of my life. It's shipping's always getting delayed. Makes it a little complicated, but we're going to be okay. So in the next video, you're going to see me put the wear ring in, do the exhaust, and we're going to get this thing back on the water and go hit some buoys with it and have a little fun. Now, it's almost done to where I want it to be. Of course, we got those things to do. And the last thing I need to find is some sponsons. So these sponsons aren't gripping much of anything. If you look at these blades, there's no blade. It's just kind of like a fin sticking out. So we're not gripping any water with that, and we don't want to slide out. Because this hull, I'm telling you, it's the best handling hull I've ever ridden, even with those sponsons on. So once we get some actual bite, it's going to handle really good around the corner. Whether you're restoring an old ski like this one or you're working on a new one, we got mat kits for you that's going to enhance the look and performance of your watercraft. So thank you guys for watching. Links in the description for this will be in the description below, and I'll catch you guys next week where we get this thing wrapped up and we're gonna have some fun. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.